Hi, my name is Agata. Welcome in Agata's Cottage. I'm coming with a new YouTube series for you. One of my sewing friends, Diana, 26 by Diana on Instagram, started sewing challenge called Sew Lucky Jar. It's personal challenge, so everyone is going on their own speed and with their own rules. The idea is you put to the jar, ideally decorated jar, all the patterns or almost all the patterns you want to make in foreseeable future, and you just draw and you make up the pattern that you pull out. No second guessing, no going back and forward, no problem with decisions what fabrics I should use, although that's a valid point, but more like, should I use this fabric for something else, kind of second guessing yourself. And unfortunately, I'm extremely guilty of thinking that there might be more perfect pattern for this particular fabric, or vice versa. There might be perfect fabric for this particular pattern, and I might not necessarily have it in my stash. However, because my stash multiplied without any rhyme and reason, honestly, I think my fabrics are like little rabbits that took over Australia. Uh, the way they took over my house recently, I decided, no, I'm gonna just dodge the bullet, and I'm starting with Sew Lucky Jar at 25. Majority of participants started in January. However, my January, February, and up to mid-March were so crazy that I had zero mental space for even going through the patterns I own and thinking what I want to do. And I have to say big thank you to Stash Hub, um, Doug and Yvette. Your app made my life so much easier. So for last week and a half, roughly, when I was feeling a little bit down, or I was feeling bad, I wanted to be productive, but I had zero energy, or I woke up in the middle of the night with nightmares and I needed something to calm me down, I would just open Stash Hub app, I will go to my patterns, and I will scroll and add a tag, so Lucky Jar 25, to all the patterns that I really want to make now. So if you watch one of my Friday shows recently, you know that I come up with 132 patterns. I managed to get it down to 110, and for those I do have fabrics in my stash. As I mentioned, my stash is massive, and 100 something patterns is a lot. And not all the patterns are for me, not all are equally easy or difficult or time or fabric consuming. So I decided to split them into three categories. Makes for Chris and Alice, and in my jar that's color blue. Difficult makes or time consuming makes, or things that I'm not entirely sure what fabric I want to use. However, I do have few fabrics in my stash that are suitable for that specific project. That's color red. And the cream color is easy enough makes, or things that I made before, or things that shouldn't be too difficult or shouldn't be too time consuming. So I have few rules for myself. We'll see how it goes. So for first 2 or 3 projects, I want to go with easy projects. So I will be picking whatever color I want. And then I need to pick at least one project for Chris and Alice, and at least one difficult project. Alice is finishing primary school, so we do have a lot of additional things going on. Therefore, I don't want to commit to doing something extremely difficult too often, because I know that I won't have time. Are you curious what patterns I picked? I will put here or here, whichever side. Maybe I will move to this side and I will put it here. So I will put here a little video I took of Stash Hub. I filtered out my patterns, and as you can probably see on the top of the screen, it's 108 patterns, and that's great new addition to Stash Hub, that you can actually see how many records you have per each filter. So I filtered out all the patterns with the tag Sew Lucky Jar 25, and I just took the screen recording of all the patterns. As you can see, it's variety of patterns, big four independent magazines, stuff for Chris, for me, for Alice, things that are easy, things that are for knits or for wovens, everything goes. I even pop in one or two projects for Project Dress a Girl just to get me extra motivated for working on those dresses for little girls. Diana suggested that we put our patterns into the jar and we decorated it. So originally I brought like a big gigantic jar, but we live in converted cottage. I have slanted walls in my bedroom. Majority of the walls are slanted in my bedroom, and I wouldn't have a space to put gigantic jar that would be mainly empty, because the jar I had, it was like 3 liters. I think it's a gallon in US measurements. Anyway, it wasn't happening. So I found one small jar that I decorated with some sewing related stickers I have in my stash, and aren't they adorable? And this one says, "You are so loved," and I think it's appropriate sticker. And of course, little bow, and I can always remove it, and all all my patterns. So I'm gonna shake it. Oh, what I wrote, very often when I picked a pattern, I will pick the pattern, like especially for the big four, that I wanted either trousers or a top, or I wanted a dress or something else. So I would write down number of the pattern and what I want from that pattern. If it was any of the views, then I just wrote the number. So we will see what comes up, because from the top of my head I know maybe 2 or 3 numbers for the big four patterns. I'm not really good at remembering numbers. I'm better at remembering names. So everything is shaked. Oh. Now let's see, something cream. I have tiny little note to lower my glasses. It's N6891. I have no idea which pattern it is. I'm gonna check it and I'm gonna come back in a second. So as you've seen, I draw number N6891 is this fabulous blouse top pattern, and actually I have been wanting to make it for a very long time, but I've been always finding some other things to do, because you know, life happens. So for a moment I'm thinking the long sleeve view. I have gorgeous green fabric, green viscose in my stash that I got from Beyond the Pink Door probably 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember exactly. I will see if I have enough and if the print is directional, because I don't remember from the top of my head. If it is, I'm gonna use that fabric. If not, I'm gonna look for something else and hopefully make something fabulous, or I will decide on different view. We will see. Wish me luck. I should come back to you maybe in a week and a half time with an update, and hopefully finish make, and we can do another draw. If you have a list of patterns you really want to make yourself, but you always either reach for something that you made before, or you get easily distracted by the next new thing, make a list of those patterns and join So Lucky Jar 25. It's great fun, and I absolutely love watching everyone on Instagram posting their makes. The hashtag on Instagram is So Lucky Jar 2025. I will leave the link to Diana's profile in the description box, and link basically all the information that you might need. I hope you will join me and you will have fun too. You might ask, are those the only patterns or only sewing projects I would be making? Of course not. You know me, I love sewing for Chris, I love sewing for Alice, and they do have regular needs basically, of the regular basics that I keep sewing over and over using the same patterns. So for sure I will be doing that. I will be joining other challenges like, you know, so April blouse, so frugal, project dress a girl, and this will keep me occupied probably for a year. So you know, I wouldn't want to limit myself to sewing just things from the jar. So I will aim to have 2 makes from the jar made per month, and all the other projects, see how it goes. So that's all from me for today. It's a very quick video with very quick update and quick draw. Wish me luck, and I hope you will come back and watch my review. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, clean your sewing machine and change your needle. Happy sewing. Bye.